All right, let's try that again. Good afternoon. Welcome on into another episode of From Day One. This afternoon we have with our good friend Law Talk with Mike two subsets with another court appearance.
All right, good morning. We are on the record in the 53rd Circuit Court for the County of Sheboygan, and we provide public access both in the courtroom and also online. And first up, we've got the case of People of the State of Michigan versus Trevor McLeod, file 23-6748-H. Mr. McLeod, good morning. Sir, would you step behind the bar, please?
He's by counsel.
He's not a licensed attorney.
I demand my right to counsel.
Sir, step behind the bar or you're going to be taken into custody. You're not an attorney, so gather your things. You can step behind the bar. I'll be in a minute. So, Mr. McLeod, I first have to establish that you told me before that you wanted to represent yourself. Are you changing your mind on that matter?
Wait, I have a
I'm
microphone.
creating my own counsel for the tribe, yes.
Is he an attorney licensed in the state of Michigan?
He doesn't have to be.
Yes, he does to practice in this court.
Yeah.
So you're not wanting to represent yourself then? Am I hearing that correct? You want an attorney?
I have a right to counsel.
Yes, you do.
Doesn't have to be a licensed attorney.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
In the courtroom, who do you think gets to decide that question? You or me? So me. And so you may be represented by an attorney, but it has to be a member of the bar of the state of Michigan. Now, I can tell you, I read your motion and Mr. Belkey's purported appearance, which is not authorized. And it seems to me that perhaps you want him just to explain some things to the court about the consent decree.
That's correct.
Now, for that purpose, in your motion, you may call him as an expert witness on that question, and he can offer testimony on your behalf as a witness.
Okay.
But I can't allow him to make arguments on your behalf or represent you in the case.
Well, that's why we put it in for limited.
Okay, so you just want him to offer some testimony about that stuff.
Sure.
Okay, so we can do it that way, and he can testify as a witness. There's no problem.
Thank you.
Assuming that he meets the requirements for a witness and, you have to follow the rules of evidence and all that.
Sure.
All right. So with that in mind, then, I need to confirm, are you still desiring to represent yourself?
Yes.
Yes, you are. Okay. All right. So we are here on your motion to suppress. There is in the court file a preliminary examination transcript, so I did have an opportunity to review that, and I'll take judicial notice of those proceedings. So then I suppose we can take supplemental proofs. So Mr. McLeod, I guess, at the preliminary examination, the conservation officer testified about his actions and observations that day. Did you wish to have him offer further testimony about that, or do you want me to just rely on the transcript?
Nailed it.
Of the preliminary exam?
I think that we have a transcript.
Okay, Mr. Juliet, do you wish to supplement that in any way, or?
Just very briefly, and I believe he's on Zoom for testimony, that's okay.
Okay, any objection to that, Mr. McLeod?
Yeah, I object.
What's that?
I object.
What's the basis for the objection?
Of course.
That his testimonies, I've already got proof of perjury here.
Well, that doesn't tell me why he shouldn't be allowed to offer some additional testimony.
Because it's not valid. I can't trust it. He's already lying.
He's what?
He's lying.
Well, again, that's a different.
Because I don't wanna, Your Honor.
If the witness testifies falsely under oath, that's serious problems for the witness. But the prosecutor's saying they want to offer some additional testimony by the correction officer. So I'll allow that, and then you can cross-examine them, and then you can present witnesses in the home defense. Let's see here.
Oh, here we go.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Alexander Bourgeois.
Mr. Bourgeois, would you please raise your right hand for me?
Ooh la la.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole
Bourgeois.
truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Julian.
Officer, can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Can you state your full name and spell your last name, please?
Alexander Bourgeois, Bourgeois.
Thank you. Where do you work?
I currently work for the Michigan DNR in the law enforcement division.
And how long have you been working there?
Since August of 2022.
Were you working on September 4th of 2023?
I was.
And are you familiar with the defendant in this case, Mr. McLeod?
Yes, sir.
Did you have contact with him that day?
I did.
And what was the reason for the contact?
We originally made contact with him because he had expired boat registration on his vessel. Upon making contact with him, it led to the arrest of him for boating under the influence.
Okay. Was there anything else that drew your attention to the defendant?
Yes, we originally made contact with him at the boat launch.
Hang on. There was an objection. What's your objection to that question?
They're trying to add testimony to the statements in the original testimony. That's not stated.
Well, that's
Trying to change the story.
okay. Well, they are allowed to present, testimony here today, and I agree that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to supplement the record and give me some additional information that wasn't in the attachments or in the prior transcript. That is permissible, just like you're going to be able to offer further testimony from what you gave in the district court. So I'll take all those things into account. So that objection's overruled. Go ahead.
So I'll just repeat myself, officer. Was there anything else that drew your attention to the defendant?
Yes, when the defendant docked at the dock along the river, when he got off the boat, myself and the other conservation officers, we realized that he had difficulty getting off the boat, that he had to hold the post to get off of it. Once he had gotten off of the boat and he walked towards the bathroom, he stumbled and swayed up the dock and ramp and stumbled and swayed on his way back. That's when I made contact with him about the boat registration. And once I
hate to say this, but it sounds a lot like me.
asked for the registration for the vessel, which obviously would be inside of it, he struggled to put his
Mikey,
sandals
are you
back
saying
on
you're a
longer than a
landlubber?
normal person would. It took him about 10 seconds to put on a simple sandal. And then once he got into the boat, I noticed that he had lack of fine motor skills that would be common with somebody that's under the influence. I noticed that he had slurred speech. And then he also, I could tell that he showed just general signs of someone that might not be completely sober.
Okay.
Yeah.
As part of your training in
Get him,
as a
Bougie.
conservation officer, do you receive any training in OWI related boating incidents, I guess?
Yes, we're trained in both normal motor vehicle, and then I myself am trained in BOI.
Okay. And before you, I guess, approached, can you explain the timeline of events? Did you notice any signs of intoxication before you made contact with the defendant?
I object.
Hang on, there's an objection. What's the objection? What's that? I'll sustain that. Maybe you can ask him, when did you notice any?
Officer, when did you notice the signs of intoxication?
I noticed that as soon as he tried to get off the vessel, when he was stumbling and was having difficulty getting off of it, the water wasn't rough or anything that would cause any type of equilibrium imbalance. It was a calm, flat river, so the defense of that wouldn't be valid in my opinion. So when he's stumbling to get off the boat and then stumbling up the dock, it would show that he would be impaired on something rather than from the water.
Probably glue.
Where were you when you noticed this?
5 feet away from on the other side of the dock. I had clear vision of it all the way up the ramp too.
And did you approach him after you noticed these signs of intoxication?
Yes, sir.
Did he, when you made contact with him, did he inform you that he was a tribe of, a member of a Native American tribe?
No, sir. Nor did he advise me that he was in the.
Hang on, there was an objection, and Mr. McLeod, it might help a little bit if you would state your objections a little more loudly, so that the witness who's testifying remotely can hear that. The question was, did he tell you that he was a member of a tribe?
Yeah.
And there was an objection, the reason.
He's leading the witness, he's leading the question.
Well, I think that I'll overrule that. That doesn't suggest what the answer is. He's saying, did he tell you? The answer could be yes, it could be no. So that'll be overruled. Go ahead, Officer Bourgeois. Did Mr. McLeod inform you of his membership in any Native American tribe or band?
No, sir. He didn't advise me that he was tribal, nor did I see him in the act of fishing. And either way, as a conservation officer, I have the right to make contact with him. And upon that contact,